I like this instrument. I want to get better. It's like golf. See, I like golf too.
Hello guys, Joy from Sharp 11 Music here. Did you hear any difference between these three Altissimo Gs? Well, I do. There are three fingerings, I think, for three different occasions you can use them on. They are all suited for a little bit different reasons, and let me explain them, what the fingerings are and for what kind of different situations they are. The first one, it's also the most known one, is a very nice way to have a split tone on that high Altissimo G. So if you want to play like Eric Marienthal or David Sanborn, and you play something funky, it works so great. It splits the tone in two, and it's the most basic one. It's the 1-3-1-3 fingering. So you put 1, 3, 1, 3, and the octave key. But the disadvantage here is that it has a bit of a restraint to it. So that's also why it probably gets the crack in the overtones. It really lends itself beautifully for that, but it's also a little bit harder to get. You can get it also clean, by the way. That's no problem, but if you get it clean and you play it, you will feel a little bit more of pushback in the air that it seems to get more difficult through the horn. So that's the clean 1-3-1-3 fingering. So, but you can also do the split tone on that. Generally, to get that, you can hear that already. You play a little bit louder, that helps. And you push the air a little bit more up into the mouthpiece. That also helps for me to get that split tone if you want that. So, but if you want to get it a little bit more composed and like a real G which fits into a scale, then you would try to focus the air more steadily. You might even want to think about getting it a little bit more down to sit on the note rather than to push the air up into the mouthpiece. Then there is a second one, and that one I like to use for if you want to have like a really bright G, like a long note, for example, with a nice vibrato on it, and it has to be bright and, well, the opposite a bit of the previous fingering that has the push back. This one really doesn't have that, and let me explain. It's one I actually learned when I was playing classical saxophone, and it's kind of a hybrid between the first one and between the later one. So the left hand is exactly the same. So octave key, 1, 3, but then we push the F key, but also the side B flat key and the E flat key. So you push down 3 different keys here. It's a little bit of a close grip. You see that? Including the octave key. And this one, when I was starting out to learn Altissimos, this one was way easier for me to get for some reason. Like I said, the other one is the most common one they teach you, but that had much more pushback. And in the beginning, it seems to be easier for most people to get out the A Altissimo, which has less pushback than the G. It's lower, but it's generally a little bit harder fingering to get, this G with the 1-3-1-3. So whenever you want to play a bright, clean G, you will have the most success with this one, I believe. Please keep in mind that it might differ a bit, the effect on how easy it plays and the intonation, of course, on which kind of horn you play. I play a Selmer Mark 6. For this one it works well. If you play really older horns, there it might differ a lot, because the most new horns are anyway based mostly on the mechanics of the Mark 6. There is a third one which I like to use if you are playing more in a bebop sense and you want to just connect it chromatically, because the disadvantage from the second one I showed you, the nice bright one, is that, yeah, if you come from a F, it's quite a change, and sometimes you have to kind of do finger breaking movements to get that fingering. So this one fits way more into when you go chromatically from in the range. Let's say from a high D, you go chromatically. You also take this overtone E already, so that's the front F plus this G key, because from the front F and then the F sharp you have to put down this B flat key, and then you can go easily into the next fingering. Keep that front F, the octave key, then here the first key, so the F key, and then the side B flat. Might seem a bit complex at first, but it's way more logical if you come from this front F key, believe me. So that's the front F, of course. Then for a F sharp we push down already this side B flat key. And then to get to the G, we keep that. We only loosen our middle finger in the left hand and push down the F key in the right hand. So that's just two keys that one has to go open, one has to close. So that's cool. That makes it way more. It also connects well if you want to go even higher chromatically into this chromatic scale, into the Altissimo. So the thing is, you kind of have to know before where you want to go with this Altissimo. What is your goal with the Altissimo? Is it in a pop way? You want to do a split tone? Go for the classic one, the 1-3, 1-3 and octave key. If you want to have like a very bright, beautiful, long note, I would go for that second fingering. But if you're doing bebop and you want to just smoothly connect between the normal range and the Altissimo range, then I would go for the third one. Now comes the bonus one, which is just a little variation on this last one. And actually, if you're trying to do something really fast, for example, you want to go up into the Altissimo, you don't need to press down that B flat and even the F. Let's say you come from E, then F, and then you just loosen this middle finger. You only stay with the octave key and the front F, and it is really not so stable, but if you would do it fast, you won't even have time to flip into an unwanted overtone. That's how I deal with the G Altissimo fingerings. And of course, if you're not yet very comfortable with the Altissimos, I made a very comprehensive and complete story about everything involved with getting Altissimos out from the start, all the exercises you might want to do. And even if you're not that much into overtones, it's a very good exercise for sound development as well. So you're always tackling two issues at the same time. You really cannot lose with those exercises. So check that out. I'll leave a link down and maybe here in the video. Let me know what you think about those fingerings. Did you use any of these or maybe multiple of these? And probably you might have some different options as well. Surely let me know down which options you prefer. Maybe I'll learn a few new ones from you guys that I want to use myself later for maybe even a fourth occasion, who knows. So thank you for watching. If you want to have more transcription stuff, tutorial stuff on saxophone or guitar or some general music knowledge, you might want to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.